Hey everyone, welcome back to Dev Parkour. I have a bit of an announcement today. So today is, June 12th. So on June 1st, I got laid off from my day job. If you haven't been following the channel for a while, or at all, I did have a day job for roughly 2.5 years. I wasn't just doing YouTube full time. I was actually an engineering manager at a fairly good sized company. That unfortunately went through a round of layoffs again a week and a half ago now. And in this video, I want to talk about kind of the other end to the bookend. I was able to sign an offer letter 8 days later, so on June 9th. That was last Friday. And the reason I was able to do that, I didn't have anything, in the pipeline. I wasn't already looking for a job. I went from getting laid off to having a new job in the span of 8 days, essentially, right? So get laid off day 0. On day 8, I signed the offer letter. This is a fully repeatable process. This is the exact same process that I went through the last time I got laid off. Yes, unfortunately, I have gotten laid off twice in my career. Never thought that would happen. But I do want to share with you the process that I went through, because I do think this is repeatable not just for me, but for everybody. And I also think it's repeatable regardless of the stage you're in your career. I have had some skepticism in the past when I've told people about this. Oh, that won't work for me because I'm, an introvert, or I don't have, that big of a network because I am fresh out of school, or I don't have any work experience. How do I do that? And I'm not gonna lie, the job search is definitely harder for some people than it is for others, for a variety of different reasons. Entry-level positions might be harder to come by because people might not be hiring for entry-level positions. I wish I could do something to change that. That's a pretty big thing. I don't think I can change that, certainly not right now. I'm not going to make a huge change throughout the industry, just with this video, as much as I might want to. But I've also found that a lot of advice around the interview process, especially technical interview process, focuses on what happens once you're already in the interview process, once you've already gotten a phone call back. And there are two things that companies are trying to figure out. That's can you do the job, and will you fit at the company? And you as the interviewee should also be doing the same thing. Will I feel comfortable that I can do the job? And is this a company that I could see myself working for? People that I can see myself working with. That could be its own video, probably set of videos. I'm sure other people have done that. So I'm not going to focus on that, because what I think is most important, and where most people who describe, I've sent out hopefully not thousands, but hundreds of resumes and, not gotten very many calls back. Well, in my opinion, that's the problem, right? So the process that I'm going to talk about in this video very specifically addresses that, so you don't get that's just demoralizing, right? Sending out hundreds of resumes and not getting very many calls back. I'm going to show you how to optimize for getting calls back, basically by never sending out a resume that isn't to an actual person. And this really comes back to a network. And I promise you, you have a bigger network than you think you do. Everybody has a network. Everybody has talked to people. Everybody has worked with people. And that's really where it comes from. You don't have to, have some specific network that is like my job finding network. Anybody you've ever talked to is a part of your network, right? So what did I do on day 1? Well, so I got the phone call that I was laid off. I immediately turned to LinkedIn and put a post there. It was actually kind of ironic, convenient. I had posted on LinkedIn the day before about how all of these huge tech layoffs are, in my opinion, kind of irresponsible. So I had a good segue into my post, who knew that the next day, I myself would be laid off from a company. But regardless of how you present it, like, be authentic. So you have something that has happened in your career, you want to share it with the people on LinkedIn. And when I talk networking, I'm not talking about the size of your network on LinkedIn. Posts looking for a new opportunity do very well on LinkedIn. If you are connected to anybody on LinkedIn, people will see your post about now being on the market, now being open to work. Definitely put that green banner on your little icon, on your avatar. I guess they call it a profile picture. Put the green banner up there, letting people know that you're open to work. In my case, people started sending me messages saying, I've got an opening at my company, I'd be happy to refer you. That's great. That kind of seeds the process. Ultimately, the job that I accepted was not through one of those people who reached out to me, so my process still applies. What is my process, aside from obviously letting people know that you're looking for work? You're going to make 2 lists, and realistically, you could probably only make 1 list. Make the first list, and that is a list of people. There's a list of people, anybody, it doesn't matter where you met them, how you know them, a list of people that you want to work with, that you know, if the stars align, assuming, you know, a perfect situation, who would you want to work with? You were not trying to weed people out right away. Make as long a list as possible of people you've met, either you've worked with before, you went to school with, they were classmates, you met at a networking event, however you know them. They could be friends, family, you know, just make this list of people who I'd be interested in working with. Try to make it as exhaustive as possible, but I guarantee you that in a span of like 5 minutes, you'll come up with at least 20 people without even trying. I promise you it'll be effortless. Most people are afraid that they're not going to be able to make a list of people. Nope. Everybody has a network. Everybody has a much bigger network than you realize. Just start making this list of names. Before you know it, realistically, before you know it, you will have found a job. But at least before you know it, you'll have a long enough list that you can move on to the next phase. And you can certainly add to this list as you remember people. Like, you're gonna forget people. Nothing personal. You're just gonna forget people. You can always add to the list and continue reaching out to people. Once you have this list of people, you're gonna add to that list where they currently work, where they worked last. Anything further back, you know, people have moved out from jobs. The people who they might be able to put you in touch with might not even work at the same place anymore. It just kind of breaks down. But the place where they currently work, they obviously know the people they work with. The place they worked at immediately previously, they probably know a lot of people who are still there. They can put you in touch with, you know, someone involved in hiring for a position. Next, you're going to start kind of weeding out, like, any place that you absolutely do not want to work, right? And this is up to personal preference. You know, if you're not really looking for a nonprofit, just strike nonprofits off the list, right? No harm in that. At that point, you have a list of people and a list of companies. So at this point, you start looking for context to add to a message, kind of a personalized message to each of these people. And that can be either in the form of a job that company has open that you can ask, do you know anything about this job? Or would you be willing to refer me for this job? Something along those lines. Or, can you tell me more about this company? You know, if there are no jobs open, do you know of anyone who is looking for someone who does what I do? You know, you can make a list of the types of jobs that you're looking to do. In my case, it was software architect, or software engineering manager, or just senior software engineer, or staff software engineer. Yeah. Do you know, or I'm looking, do you know of any positions like this? Worst they can say is no. Most people will follow that no with, but if I hear of anything, I'll let you know. right? Most people are assuming you know them well enough, they're willing to be helpful. Even if they don't know you well enough, they might be willing to help you just because they know that, especially now, lots of people are looking for jobs. So anyway, list of people, list of companies they work for, and the last company they worked for, list of jobs that exist at those companies, and that's what you start applying to. But don't apply to them cold. Get a referral if possible. Different systems do it different ways. So some you might just put in their name or an email address. Some systems, you send your referral a resume and they put your information in, and then the ATS, the applicant tracking system, reaches out to you to fill in some of the details. Either way, but the key is absolutely finding a position, finding an opportunity at a company where you know someone or can talk to someone. Because even if the only thing that does is guarantee you a callback, or even just put a flag in the applicant tracking system that, hey, someone knows this, that increases your chances, right? As soon as you get a callback from someone who works in the hiring process, your chances of getting to the final round skyrocket. And then all that other preparation that you've done of, making sure you can nail the technical interview, making sure you can ask the right questions to be a culture fit, and to vet the company for its culture fit, all of that comes into play. But none of that matters if you don't get a call back. So thing number one to do is guarantee a response, guarantee a callback. Sometimes there's, timing is an issue. I got a few rejections just because the jobs that I saw online had been posted for a while, and someone got it within a few days of me applying. So I was never really in the running. But people, talk to people. Talk to an actual person. Make sure that you're not just applying to a computer, that you're actually working with a person that you have worked with before, or that you've had some sort of interaction with before. The important part is making sure that there's a person, there's an actual name associated with that company, associated with that position. So that's my recommendation in a nutshell. Never apply to a position just cold. Always leverage your network. And I promise you, I absolutely promise you, your network is far bigger than you realize it is. If you have questions about this or want more details about any part of the process, even if you don't believe me, leave a comment down below, ask questions down below. I'm happy to respond to those comments. I'm happy to chat with you if you have further questions. Yeah, this is a hard time for a lot of people. There are a lot of people looking for jobs. Definitely don't make it overwhelming on yourself. Optimize for actually getting a callback, because that's going to make the difference between feeling like you're just up against the world versus working with the process and actually finding an opportunity, making sure that you stand out from the noise. Yeah. If you're in this situation, if you've been laid off, you absolutely have my support. Let me know. I'm happy to chat with you and help you through the process. A lot of people out there on LinkedIn willing to do the same thing. So talk to people. There are even some complete strangers out there who will, recommend you for jobs or send in referrals. So just talk to people. That's all I can say, is talk to people. I appreciate you watching. If you've gotten this far in the video, I definitely appreciate you watching. If you're not already subscribed, hit that subscribe button. Like the video if you like what I do. Take a look at some of my other videos. Obviously, this is a little bit of a deviation from the normal talking about actual tech stuff, but I promise there will be some of that coming. So stay tuned, subscribe if you're not already subscribed, and I'll see you in the next one.